Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly women's volleyball press conference. We will start the press conference with an opening statement from head coach Tyler Hildebrand. Then we'll open it up to questions from the media.
Thanks, Lindy. It was a successful weekend in a lot of ways for us last weekend. One of them was, Nicole asked me if Nicole's a senior, and she asked me if we could play in Arizona maybe next year, and I was like, we'll try. And, we were locked into that weekend in December when Coach Rubio, Dave Rubio, was still the head coach, and Rita was the assistant, and it took a long time to get those two other teams. I think we didn't sign the contract till pretty late, so it was great that we were able to do that. Nicole was able to play, and there's three of us from Arizona, myself, Nicole, and Ella. So there were some good crowds. I think a couple of the matches we had more people there than the whole, than everyone, than there was in the stadium. And so that's a special place also for me. I grew up there. I was recruited a little bit by them to play basketball there when they were a big deal. And so it was special to be in Arizona, and really proud of 3 wins. We only lost 1 set, and that was a deuce set. And then we got kind of fortunate to win in 4 against a really good New Mexico team. It was good to see Star. Star's playing well, so it was good to see her and see her doing well where she's at. The first match was a big highlight. I think we keep saying it, but we're playing more physical teams than us, and that team is really, really good on the pin. That opposite is one of the better players, probably in the Pac-12, in my opinion. She hit negative against us, so that was a big deal. We wanted to slow her down, and I think last year she hit like 350 on the year or something. I mean, she's a really good player, so we were able to slow her down. And Jordan Wilson was a top 10 recruit, and Hodge is really hard to deal with. So the fact that we were able to, I don't think they scored 20 points in any of the sets, had a lot to do with our serving and had to do with our defense and our blocking against their 3 pins. Alabama State does really well in their conference, and they were kind of funky. We had no idea that they could play players in any position. I mean, it was hard to scout them, especially on a short notice. So we had to trust our system, and we played well against them. And then New Mexico was also hard to scout for the similar reasons. They play players in different positions, and they don't have any middles. It was they had 5 pins, 2 setters, and 3 DSs, and kind of it was cool because they had outside hitters passing and hitting quick, which was cool because there's a lot of belief, in women's volleyball. They usually push the front row hitter up because they can't pass and hit, and well, that's proof that you can pass and hit it quick. And so we have a lot of respect for their coaching staff. Knew they were going to be tough, and they were tough. We ended up playing well in the first 2, not our best in the next 2, but to win in 4 was good. So long story there, but it was a successful weekend for all those reasons.
Coach, how important was it for the team to go 3-0 in Tucson, including that 4-set marathon against New Mexico State?
Yeah, it was really good to get 3 wins. And as we looked at our preseason, we have tough matches every match. And so to get 3 wins and not have to go, we've lost a match every weekend. So to get 3 wins and go into conference, which we know our first 2 weeks are going to be really tough, as are all the matches, but the first 2 weeks are going to be really tough. And so to get 3 wins, I think, gives us confidence that when we play well, we can beat teams. And so, yeah, we've won 4 of our last 5, which I think helps as well. Only losses to Nebraska. And so what I'm proud of, not just the weekend, but, we've had 2 incredible practices. I mean, they're playing. Today's practice was, me and Bjorn said it after practice, but it's like, it's fun to just be a cheerleader sometimes because people are getting better at what they're working on. So they put together 2 great practices. So this is our first chance to train since preseason. We've just basically been 1 practice, 1.5 practices, and so we get 4 days this week. And so I'm really proud of the girls of how they're training so far.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, how has it felt to just be back in what you would probably say is a regular schedule this week?
Yeah, really nice, Matt. We were able to go really light yesterday. We got to do a little jumping. We did some blocks and some of our kind of offensive route stuff, but very limited. I think we were, our jumpers were at like 40 jumps or something, 40, 50 jumps, which is pretty light. Then we got to jump hard today. We should be able to jump hard tomorrow and jump almost nothing on Thursday. Whereas we've been having to jump because when you only get 1 or 1.5 practices, like you got to jump a little bit to prep the team or to work on a little bit. So we'll be able to do pretty much no jump on Thursday. So it's really nice to be able to work a little bit. So.
Your team opens up conference play against 2 teams that were projected to finish 4th and 2nd in the conference, respectively. Considering the competitiveness of the Big West in women's volleyball, how crucial is it to start the season 2-0?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't speak on how crucial is it to start 2-0 because our schedule's tough, and so we're not going to handle this season or this week any differently. We know that we lost to Cal Poly the first match last year, and I've said this a couple times, but that was the strangest feeling I've had in competitive sports. In that we know how good Hawaii is, we know that there's a lot of tough teams in our conference, and to lose to Cal Poly, historically one of the top 3 or 4 teams, and not have a tournament last year was like, dude, is that loss gonna? We got 2 more months to play, like. So the fact that we have a tournament this year, which again is big thanks to our administration, all the coaches, all the help, all the conference, is maybe less critical wins and losses because you're going to be building as long as you're in the top 6. But for us, it's important to play great matches at home and play play our game or how we play, win, lose, or draw, which is one of our themes. So that's more important than going 2-0. And, again, our number one goal is to get people, in the seats and excited about how we're doing. So we hope people keep showing up our marketing department told us that we have the second highest attendance on the West Coast. And so, in California. So that's a big deal. So if we can keep humming, hopefully these next 4 matches at home, we're going to get good crowds.
Savannah Chacon getting the Big West Defensive Player of the Week. Can you speak on her growth at the position? She's talked about it herself, being able to read blocks a little better this year. But can you talk to what you're seeing out of her?
Yeah, Savannah's done a good job for us this year. Very proud of her growth as a person. We deal with. It's probably always been the case a little bit, but I think with social media and just the way things are these days, it's really hard for them to separate the person from the player and or how they played. And there's a lot of coaches out there that don't help that. And there's a lot of so we're always trying to make sure that they can handle whether they're playing good or bad and take it as something to learn from and something to motivate them to work hard, because they're sacrificing a lot to be good at something and to be a part of a team. So I'm really proud of her growth there, because she hasn't played good in every match this year, but she's bounced back really quick. And that was something a year ago that I don't think she was ready for. She had a good season last year for us, but she wasn't ready, I don't know, maturity or as a person or, whatever the case may be. She wasn't ready to handle like, okay, I'm still the same person. I'm still the same teammate. I just didn't have my best. I'm going to look at what I can do better and come back with the same mindset of the same growth mindset to get better and be a great teammate and a leader. She's one of our leaders. So she's done a really good job of that this year. So I'm really proud of her doing that. As far as Big West Defensive Player of the Year or Week, it's really nice when people get recognized for what they're doing. But Savannah's been playing great defense all year. Awards for us are just like everything else. It's like, yeah, we want to recognize it because it matters, but it really doesn't matter on the next day. And so our team defense has gotten a lot better, and Savannah's a big part of that.
What do you feel you and the team have learned the most through this preseason so far?
Glad you asked that. We wanted to do the best we could to take this as an opportunity to be challenged and stressed and grow and learn about who we are. So it's easy. Everyone says that. It's hard to actually do that. So what we learned was that this team, these young women, our staff, could say we're going to try to do that and do it, whether we played good, bad, won sets, lost sets. So we learned that we actually can actually back up what we say, and I'm really, really proud of the girls. And, I didn't know what our wins and losses would be. I don't think any of us did, and so it's not about whether we're better or worse than we thought we were. It's about we were able to handle wins and losses the exact same way, not perfectly, but the same way. And that's a year ago. We weren't ready to do that for sure, and I don't think very many teams can do that. And so we learned that we're capable of doing that, which now, and we ended the first chapter. So we have a goal to work to get better, to play at a home tournament, to get an automatic qualifier to go to the NCAA tournament. And there's going to be 3 chapters hopefully this season, and that was the first. Second is conference, and we really hope that the third is the conference tournament. And we don't know if we're going to have a 4th chapter or not, but we want to. So, but that was the first chapter, and we closed it. Yeah, with 3 wins, and 6-4 I think is a good record through our schedule, but we closed it knowing like we can do what we say we're going to do.
Throughout this past last weekend, the team just seemed to be a little more confident on the court, seemed to have a good rhythm, and they seemed to be playing more free. Whether it was just their confidence against the competition or not, what did you see, and what do you think about their play last weekend going into what could be a really tough first 2 weekends?
Yeah, we're working on playing free. This is a challenging thing, and we've done that more this year than we did at most points last year. And we have a lot of players that are working really hard to be a part of the learning process, to be not waiting for a coach to tell them what to do. Trust me, I talk enough for them. They don't need me to tell them what to do all the time. And I've been really impressed with that. So I think that you're right, Matt. I think we played more that way. I don't think it has anything to do with the competition, because we played that way against Texas, and we played that way a number of times. I think we played that way against Washington and UCLA as well. Those teams are really good and really physical, and the margins were thin, and we didn't make some plays we needed to, and we had some players out. But so I think we've done it all season, but we put it together this week, which is good. I don't think it has to do with the competition. We're also learning that. We're also learning that when we play, we keep it on our side, and we focus, or we play how we can play, and we play free, or we play whatever the case may be. It's not going to matter a whole lot who we play. Certainly, we're going to be underdogs in many matches, but it's not going to matter too much how we play, because we can beat, I think, a lot of teams if we play that way. And it takes a lot for us to win points sometimes. And some people might be bummed at that, but I think it's cool. I mean, we have to play great volleyball and make a lot of little plays and do a lot of things right and stress teams in ways that other teams aren't even trying to do, like what we're trying to do on offense, and I think on defense, and even blocking and serving. And so it's cool because, we're trying to do some cool stuff. And so it's a challenge to put it all together. But we put it, I guess, kind of to answer your question, we put it together this week a lot of the time. And that's what it looks like. And against Arizona especially, we were not perfect, and we never will be, but we put a lot of things together for the whole match. And to beat that team in 3 was big. That team's a good team. So.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.